Hey guys, it's me. Shut up, Tyler. But guess what, guys? Today we're going to talk about some art, mainly with indie games, as I feel like this is probably the most like artist and most expressive form of video games that we have in the modern day. Every year, I like to just block out a certain part of the year, usually like late April to mid June, for this thing I like to call it Indie-thon, where I'd play like a bunch of indie games and stuff too, just kind of throughout there, just what's piqued my interest in seeing kind of what goes on with the indie world. And not gonna lie, a lot of indie games I usually play, I ended up enjoying like A Short Hike, baby. You know what else is really nice too is that most indie games nowadays, you get a lot of content for pretty cheap, which is kind of very unrealistic to say with most AAA games nowadays, is seeing that you can play a lot of these games in pretty quick succession, probably for like cheap. Like you could probably buy maybe like 2 to 5 indie games in this day and age, and you would for like a regular AAA game, which is very nice. Especially to a lot of these just have a lot of passion and just uniqueness to it, though. Like I was playing Penny's Big Breakaway, for example. It reminded me why I loved like modern 3D Sonic without it, crashing in the middle of the game. But besides that, there's a lot of games that you could see that are throwbacks to maybe older series that used to be kind of prevalent. Like I like this one, Pepper Grinder, where it kind of reminds me a little bit of this game called Drill Dozer that was on the Game Boy Advance. That was a really good game, but small things like that, or even like some very popular indie games that you could play with it, though. Like for example, me and my friends Nathan, Brendan, and we were playing the game Castle Crashers, and it was pretty cool that we were all medieval knights and shit, and we had a baby Yoshi while we were raiding pirates too. Even though Nathan had to introduce me to this thing called Medusi and said that he would indeed smash, and I don't know how to feel about that. Regardless, I think indie games are probably the last soul that you would really see in most video games nowadays. Not saying that AAA games are bad, but I feel like that there's this charm that that indie games still hold that most video games really don't nowadays. And just kind of on a last note, I do kind of want to talk about some of my favorite indie games that I would recommend to you, whether it's on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5, or Xbox Series S. First up, for example, is a game called SteamWorld Dig. Those were really good games, both two games. There's this really cool game, I forget the name of it, but it's like a old Mario Kart / killer guy. But Chicory, that's another good one. Maybe you might remember that from my favorite games of 2022 list. But I could go on and on, but there's a lot of indie games that I would recommend. Give it a shot. You might be surprised with what you find if you steer off a little bit from what the modern crowd would be. But anyways, yeah, a lot of great games that I just kind of wanted to talk about, and hope you give it a try too. A lot of sales are going on when I'm making this video, and yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I made this on my birthday, so I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like on my birthday. But anyways, I'm going to call it here, guys. Bye-bye.